it's over. They're 8.5 back. They're 9 games back in the loss column from the Rays. Oakland's in front of them as well. And with 41 games left, is just no chance this team's going to make the playoffs, and it's pretty sad. And they have to go just to keep pace with Tampa and Oakland. If they keep playing at the same pace as those teams are playing at, they need to go something like 31-11 in their next 42, or 31-10 in their next 41 to even have a shot here. And that's better than even played last year. That's over 123 game win pace. And this team has shown through its lack of consistency in starting pitching and bullpen that this team is not good enough to do that. And it's a large enough of a sample size now that although it is the same roster as last year, besides basically Kimbrel and Joe Kelly, and as I mentioned, Kimbrel wasn't great in the playoffs and Joe Kelly wasn't great in the regular season besides probably a half. Although it's the same roster basically as last season, this is not the same team, and that is clear after a large sample of games here. This team cannot win consistently in the regular season. And if they get to the playoffs, as I said, I still think they could be a tough team to beat, and they could even make the World Series because the talent is there if they play up to their capabilities, which is what they showed last year. But we have seen the starting pitching, number one, has been brutal. Sale has been inconsistent, although he had a good start last outing. He's been inconsistent. Eduardo Rodriguez has really been their only consistent starter, but again, he was bad last night. David Price has been terrible since the Eck comments, and he's now hurt. Cashner is absolutely brutal, should be nowhere near the major leagues, and they just demoted him to a relieving position. And Brian Johnson, whoever you want to throw as a fifth starter, when Price is out, is you don't know what you're going to get. And Porcello has the worst ERA in the majors as a starter. So the starting pitching's killed them from the beginning of the season to now, and that's been the biggest reason why they're not going to make the playoffs. And secondly, you had the bullpen. And you have a bad bullpen, bad starting pitching. That's not a formula for success. And the bullpen, although Workman's been solid, Waldman's been solid, and Barnes is inconsistent. As long as he doesn't have too much workload, he's okay. Although he had a recent blown save, the bullpen hasn't been consistent enough either. And the starting pitching has put stress on the bullpen to throw too many innings. They don't have enough guys, and they're blowing games. And the most frustrating thing as a fan when you look at for this Red Sox team is this is not the Boston Celtics of this past season, which was a dysfunctional team with no team chemistry, and although they had a ton of talent like this Red Sox team and underachieved in those ways, they are similar. But that team from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, the chemistry wasn't there. They had no heart. It's not hard to look at that team and figure out why they lost. Mentally, they weren't there. They had a terrible leader in Kyrie Irving. The guys didn't accept their roles. That was more like the Chicken and Beer Red Sox 2011 than this team. This team, it's frustrating because if they make the playoffs, they could go on a run and win this thing. They showed it they could win last year. The Celtics team never won. Although they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, they had never won and never went far with those group of guys. It's different when you look at a team like the Red Sox, who were there last year and won it all last year, basically the same core, and they're just not performing well. And I don't think it's a toughness issue. I don't think it's a resiliency or character issue. I just think it's guys not pitching well, guys having off years. And maybe there is a championship hangover. Maybe guys didn't have the same level of intensity to begin the year. Maybe there wasn't the same level of preparation or the same level of motivation. I'll buy that, partly. But the biggest thing is it's just not performing well. And baseball is a sport where, yes, team chemistry is important, attitude is important. But at the end of the day, it's how you play on the field. And this team has shown fight. And the reason why I didn't give up on this team is that after they went on the 8-game losing streak, they then had a great start from Sale, who was vintage Sale and showed the toughness and came back after a lousy start and pitched well. And then they went on a big 16-4 victory, 14-4, whatever it was. And the offense showed that they had the resiliency and the character to fight back. They looked like a winning team that day. So they've looked at it throughout the season. The problem is they haven't done it consistently. And it comes down to the starting pitching and the pitching. And the pitching staff ERA overall from last season is much higher. It's around 4.81 overall compared to 3.75. At least it was a day or two ago. According to last year, ranked from 8th to 21st. Overall, their pitching stats across the board from starting pitching and bullpen ERA are both up in the 4s when they were both down in the 3s last season. So the bullpen not getting it done, the starters not getting it done. As I said, it's frustrating from a fan perspective because they have the talent, and to me, they have the heart and the character and the resiliency and the mental makeup. It's just guys are having bad years. Pitching staff-wise, starting rotation, and in the bullpen, and obviously Dombrowski did nothing to help them at the deadline, and that didn't help them either.